Good morning. I'm Deanna Blackman, known as Stampin' Dee, and this is Stampin' Thursday. I have a weekly Facebook Live every Thursday at 10 o'clock, and each week features something different. There's a mystery card, and there's a stepped-up stamping, and the first Thursday of the month, I introduced my monthly stamp club, which is a to-go club, a to-go class that anybody can participate in. But today we're going to look at a technique, and it is going to be ink blending. So this is something I have so much fun with, and I love doing it. I think I don't know that it takes more time because it makes the card easier to make, I think. So let's look at some of the tools that you might need for ink blending. Of course, you need inks, and these are just a few of the inks that we'll be using today. You need either a dauber or a blending brush. And today I'm going to be using the blending brush, but you could use the dauber. My daubers are getting old because I've had them a very long time. So as I've used them in the last week or two, I've been having to replace some with the new ones. So I decided, I'm just going to go with my blending brush. I love the blending brushes. I love how smooth they are, how well they blend the colors together. So I'm going with that. But I wanted to show you the daubers because you can use those as well. All right. So what we're going to start with today, well, let me say, I've said this before, I have a blending brush. They come 3 to a package, so I have accumulated them over time, and I've labeled them. I have a brush for every color group, And then I ordered a pack of the small ones, and I used the first one yesterday for a smaller project. So yeah, that's how I keep my blending brushes, and I do enjoy using them. So I'm going to set them over here. And another product that we're going to start with today is a package of gold foiled flowers, cards, and envelopes. So in this package, you get, 10 cards, 10 gold foiled cards, and 10 envelopes. So look at these envelopes. Those are the pieces I've cut off. Look, aren't they gorgeous? So we're going to look at some different ways to use those too. But here is the gold foiled piece that we're going to be using, and it is a card. You could use it as a card. It's scored, so you could fold it and use it as a card, but I'm using it as a card front. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. Let me move my ink over just a little bit. I'm going to bring my trimmer in and trim it right down that score line. That way, I can use both of them. And look, they're a little bit different. I don't know if you can see, but this one has larger flowers on it. And this one has several different kinds of flowers, roses and daisies, and I'm not real good with flowers. But I love flowers. You'd think I'd be better with it, but it has like 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of flowers. 4, maybe even more than that. So we're going to use these with our blending technique. And I believe that these, let me look. I believe that these are in the mini catalog. Let me look. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. Gold foiled. Yes, I know. No, I think they are though. Paper. Well, I'm not seeing them, but, oh, you know why? Because I had that out the other day. It's the old catalog. And I had it out to look at something. Here's my new one. All right. I'm positive that it is in the new mini catalog. Yes. So here they are, the gold foiled flower cards and envelopes. They're $10 for a pack of 10. And it says it's on page 15. So here they are. They're in the Forever Love suite. And so you'll see over here some samples using them. And using the envelopes. I think this envelope was actually used on a card. All right, so let's play with these. What I want to do is, doesn't matter which one we use. I'm going to use these three colors. I have used these several times. Pecan Pie, Cherry Cobbler, and Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to use these, and we're going to do some blending. So I think I'm going to start with Cherry Cobbler. When you blend, you want to have some paper underneath what you're working on so that you can start off and move into your project. So I'm going to get some ink on here, and I'm going to start off here, and I am just doing it ever so lightly, because I don't want to lay it down heavy at first. So I'm going to start up here and come down this way, ever so lightly. Then if you want to layer on more color, you can do that. See, I can come back and layer on a little bit more color. I can even press a little harder and get more color. I'm going to press a little harder in here and add a little bit more color. And you can fade it out. All right. I think that'll work, at least for now, for the Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to set my red blending brush aside, close my ink, and I'm going to go with Lost Lagoon next. So it would be a blue. So I get my blue brush. All right. So I'm just going to get some ink on my brush. And I think I'm going to come right here. And I'm doing it very lightly at first. Very lightly. Red's always darker. Always darker. So I'm adding a little more pressure now laying on a little bit more color. Notice I always start off and kind of slide onto my project. Now I'm going to bring it up against my red and blend it into that a little more. I need to lay a little more. I may need to re-ink. I've used this so much. I love this Lost Lagoon. It's coming out. I'm laying the color down. I think I need a little bit more right over here. Yeah. And you'll notice where these two colors blend, it's gonna be a little bit green, because when you blend red and blue, you're gonna get a purpley, more of a purple color. Okay. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna set my blue brush aside, close my blue, and now I'm going to go to Pecan Pie. Add a little bit of the neutral in here. Get my brown brush, ink it up. Then I'm going to come in right down here. Right here. Oh, you know what I did? I laid my finger, I guess I laid my finger on the ink pad. So, let me get, I think I've told you before, I use my husband's old t-shirts. I cut them up. I keep a spray bottle of water handy because I'm messy. But that did get on the card. I wonder if I can get it off. I'm just going to have to go over it. All right. That happens, right? It happens. Especially to me, it happens. So right now, though, we're going to keep going with this. Okay, and now we're going to come up to this corner. Well, I did it again. Man, I'm not sure what I'm doing. All right. Okay. Here we go. I guess I'm touching that end is what I'm doing. We'll probably trim that off anyway. That's what I'm doing. I'm touching that corner. So I need to turn this like that. There we go. You know, it wouldn't be a Facebook Live if I didn't mess something up. It just would not be a Facebook Live if I didn't mess something up. But that's okay, because there are always ways to get around this, always. And that's what I love about card making is, you know, you can work around it. All right. I'm going to put a little more of the blue on, just because I don't want to lose the blue. All right, let's try this. Come in right here. All right, there. I think that'll work. So, what I will probably do with this, I'm not going to actually make a card. I've already made cards using these techniques. And so this, let me find my piece of paper here. This is the card that I made with this technique. And as you can see, I'll trim it down, and then this is going to cover our mistake up. But you see how the background shows through there? Now, I've also got some butterflies on here. So let's take a look at that. These are the paper butterfly accents. And they are also in the spring mini catalog. They come like this. They come with 40 butterflies. So there must be 8 sheets with 5 butterflies on each sheet in here. So what I've done, I haven't opened this package yet. So what I did was I popped them all out, and I've used them, like I think on the inside of this card. Yes, I used this butterfly, and I put it down right here, and then I used a lighter color, a lighter version. So I think I used maybe Calypso Coral, and went over that, and ended up with my butterfly image on the inside. But for these, let me find one of the big ones. Now, some artists recommend you leave them in the sheet to do the inking, and sure, that would work. It probably holds them down a little bit better. All right, I'm looking for one of the big standalone butterflies. I'll find it. There's one. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ink it, and I'll use it then when I make this card somehow. Let me get these back in. If I don't, they'll end up going everywhere. All right. So set the card aside, and now I'm going to take the butterfly and I'm going to look at it. I don't think it matters which side you use. So I'm going to start with I only used the Lost Lagoon and the Cherry Cobbler on this one, on the butterfly. So I'll get my red lightly. I really want it to be light. And I'm just going to go over the outside of the wings. And that's really all I want on there. I'm going to do this side. Okay. Got the wings done. That is going to be so pretty. And now I'm going to do the middle with the Lost Lagoon. And you know, you can do it any way you want. That just happens to be the way I did it. Okay. Lost Lagoon is I'm just going to dab it on. And this is where your dauber would work really well. I do want the color to come all the way to the red. Almost. There we go. There we go. All right. I think we've got it. One more little thing that I did. I used my Let me see if this is what I used. Yes. So I used my Stampin' Right, my black Stampin' Right marker. And I come along here and I'm just going to make the little antenna black. Have to have it a certain angle so I can get it on there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the body. So I'm just going to kind of do a line down the middle. And I might go over it again just to... There we go. And that just, I think it makes the wings stand out. Gives them a little more definition. When you do that, I'm going to pop the wings up a little bit. And when I make this card, it will go right in here somewhere. Maybe. Or depending on the card, depending on what I do with this one. I may not do exactly the same that I did on this one. So, that's one way to use the ink blending with this paper. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love it. I love it. All right. So I also used, let's see, the Darling Details. I used the die, this die from Darling Details. And I believe this is probably from Color and Contour. No, it's not. It's from one of the, maybe the rectangles, stitched rectangles. It could be from that. And then I used some of the little brass butterflies on here. And I popped up my frame. All right. So there's that one. That's how we got to that one. Now I'm going to do another one with the other piece. And on this one, I'm going to, I'm going to use Petal Pink Calypso Coral in Cajun Craze. So I'm going to do Cajun Craze, Petal Pink, and Calypso Coral. Just some real pinky, pink and orange. So put these away for right now. I need my orange and I need my pink. There's my orange and there's my pink. So we're going to do this one the same way. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with the darkest color. Okay. We're just going to execute this in a little bit different way. So this is the Cajun Craze, and it's going to be very dark. So I want to be sure and start outside. Put a little of that down here. Especially for this card, I want it to show up around the edges. Oops, I messed that one up. I didn't start off. I think I got it blended. All right, so we're going to leave that for right now. And I'm going to clean my brush just a little bit because I'm going to use a lighter, the Calypso Coral. So I'm going to work to get the Cajun Craze off. Now these brushes can be washed, but they take a long time to dry. So you want to wash them at a time when you're not going to be using them that day. All right, Calypso Coral. Here we go. And I'm gonna, well, Calypso Coral is a much lighter color, so you don't have to worry about it as much. Okay, that one, and maybe just a little bit right here. Let's come along the inside. I'm going to put a little more pressure, get a little more color. And right here, the glare is, all right. So we're going to set Cajun, or the Calypso Coral aside, and now we're going to come in with the Petal Pink. This is a real light color. So, and we're going to use the pink for that. All right, so I'm going to come in down here. And it's just going to kind of fade from one color to the other. You're just not going to see any of the very vanilla. Okay, yeah, I can see it. And we're going to fade it right out to that edge right there. Remember, I told you that we want the color to show up around the edges, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to really add in the pink here and here. And all right. I think I need to bring in a little color right here. Blend it in with the Calypso Coral. And maybe right here. All right, I think we've got it. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. Now, I am going to go ahead and demonstrate this just to show you. So I'm going to use Irresistible Blooms, the die, this die right here. And I used it yesterday and didn't get everything out of it. Okay. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to center it right in the center. Like that. I'm going to run over here to my machine, which is real handy. Run it through real quick. Bring it back over here. Take my Post-it tape off. So the center will come out, and you have to really be careful for the rest of it because the pieces are very delicate, and I don't want any of them to tear off. So I'm just going to go around, poke out the, and these are the ones that push the piece away. So poke the middle part out and then come along here and free it from the die, basically, is what you're doing. Poke that out, poke that out, poke that out, and then free this from the die, poke that out. I think I've got them all poked out except that one. All right, I think now, we're not free from the die right here. Now we should be. There we go. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get my mess cleaned off here. Let me get these thrown away. So here, let me get a mat so you can see this. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. So I actually used this on a card with, I think what I used behind it was Petal Pink. I just did the card base in Petal Pink. Let me get a card base folded here. Show you. Get my bone folder and give this a good score. Okay. But you can see why I wanted the edges. Now, I could leave it the size of the card front, or I could trim it down, which is probably what I would do, is trim maybe 1/8 of an inch off of each edge to leave a little of that petal pink behind it. Now, I can either stamp my greeting here, or if I'm using a light enough color, which this is, I could put this back in. Let's see if I can figure out where it goes. You just have to play around with it a little bit. This is where it goes, right here. So I could fit it back in where the die cut it out, glue that down, and have that then for my, either for my sentiment or for an embellishment of some kind, but it will perfectly fit back in with the cutout piece, and you can use it that way. So that is the Irresistible Blooms, which is an online exclusive. I love the Irresistible Blooms set. So that's how we do that one. And here is the card that I made up using that one. So I did stamp my sentiment on the inside. I heat embossed a piece of, I think it was Calypso Coral, with gold to sort of tie in with the front. Using the Hello Irresistible stamps and the dies. And then the inside, I just used an additional, I did trim the edge, and the piece that I trimmed off, I used on the inside. And I've just got one of the envelopes with it. Isn't that beautiful? So that's how I did that one. I did make another one with Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, and Boho Blue. Same technique, cut out just like I did the other one, but this time I did put the piece back in, and I stamped on it. So lots of different ways that you could do that. All right, that's those. So that's using the gold gilded paper, gold foiled paper. I put it down, here it is. I put it down somewhere. That's using the gold foiled flowers, cards, and envelopes to do blending techniques with. And as you saw, it didn't take much to add to this to turn it into a beautiful card. Or this, or this. It just didn't take much. And it's so fun to do these butterflies. So fun to do those. All right, we're going to move on to another blending technique, which is using the Artistic Mix decorative masks. And in this set, there are 4. So there are 4 masks. Is that right? Oh, no. That's from a different set, a retired set. There. There are the 4 masks that are in this set, and there's so many possibilities. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take paper. Let me grab my paper. We're going to take a piece of 5 by 3 3/4. I think it's the one I used here. Maybe I didn't cut it down yet. This may be 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use this mask right here. Yeah, I'm going to use that one. Let's set these aside. So I'm going to use my Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. It's a removable, like a Post-it note. It works wonders. And I'm going to just put it right on the tip edge to keep my paper steady. Put it right here. All right, and these are reusable. And I do that, but I used mine from yesterday so much that I had to throw them away. One more. Just on the edge. And then I'm going to position my mask. I'm going to position it right there. I'm going to cut it down anyway. So it really doesn't matter, but I like to think it does. So if you're watching this live, I'd love it if you'd comment. Let me know. If you've tried the blending technique, have you used these masks before? And if you're watching it on the replay, I'd love to know that as well, or on YouTube. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I appreciate that so much. And for following me and for commenting. I love the comments. All right. So on this, I actually used the same, I'm going to use the same color combo that I used on the first gold foil. I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon. Move my masks. Use them in a bit. So I'll go with the Lost Lagoon first. Yeah. And I'm not going to use as much of it as I did on the other one. Here's the blue. So I'm just going to take it and come in here. All right. I'll close the ink, or I'll lay my hand right in the middle of it. I'm going to leave my brush, and then the cherry cobbler. And I'm not going to use nearly as much of the cherry cobbler as I did before. So I'm going to, and even so, it really comes through. didn't take much for the cherry cobbler. And then we're going to use the pecan pie, which is the browns. So any of the spots that I have not filled in, I'm going to come in with my pecan pie. Get a little bit more on this one. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit. All right, that's what we're going to do. And now, well, I just got ink on my hand again. That's why my fingers are so inked up. All right, now the magic is going to happen. So I'm going to put this on the edge of my computer so it'll stay handy. See how removable it is. Isn't that wonderful? And yet it holds it down. All right, are you ready for the magic? There it is. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Okay. So now this piece will need to be trimmed because we did have to tape it around the edges, but you would want to trim it and mat it anyway. So get that off. Bring my trimmer in. Let's go ahead and trim this down. Let's see. 4 by 5 1/4. So this needs to be 3 3/4, and we'll have to do it on both edges. So this needs to be at the 3/4. And the 5. Yeah. We just need to leave room to trim both edges, and it be 5. There we go. So now we have our piece ready to use, and I'm going to show you the sample because I'm not going to do this one, but I do want you to see it. Isn't it so pretty? So very pretty. And here's the card that I made using that, and I brought out the Lost Lagoon with the ribbon and from the Timeless Arrangements, and use the white for the center. All right, I didn't do the inside of that one. So another way that you can take your stencils, create a beautiful background, and make a card out of it. Now we're going to use the stencils again in a different way. So let me grab another piece of white. This is so fun. This one is really, really fun. So this time I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to stick with the cherry cobbler just because it looks so good. It shows up so well on a video. But I'm going to go with boho blue. There's balmy blue. There's boho blue. Yeah. I'm going to go with boho blue and cherry cobbler for this one. So I need my blues and my reds. I can put my browns away. All right, this time let me secure my piece. And I do want to do just the very tip edge Although I'm going to cut it off, so really it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to do 2 times on this. The first time I'm going to use this one with the big squares. And I'm going to put it right about here. And I'll get it down. Put it down here and over here. All right, so we're going to take our cherry cobbler. Oh, move my ink pad and move the whole thing. All right. So once again, we're going to take the cherry cobbler, and I don't necessarily, well, it doesn't matter, but I am going to take it off, and you really have to hold this down. So be sure that you hold it down, and we're going to do the whole thing in cherry cobbler. And it doesn't have to be real dark, just covered. You just want it covered. And the edges don't matter because we're going to cut the edges off. This really doesn't take long because you're just giving it a covering. There we go. All right. All right, now we're going to take this mask off. We're going to leave our paper down, just like it is. Take the mask off. Looky there. Is that not cool? Now we're going to take this mask and we're going to put it over the top. And I'm positioning it so that there will be some color to go in between the blocks, but otherwise it's just going to fall where it falls. Now our post-it tape is getting very used. So, all right. So now we're going to use the boho blue. And we'll put my cherry cobbler away. Get out my boho blue. My blue blending brush. I'm making sure this is even, going this way. I think it is. I think it is. All right. Boho blue. Here we go. Now it does go over the red a little bit, the cherry cobbler, but you're going to see that, well, you'll just see what it does here. And I'm not putting a real dark coat. You could do it a lot darker than what I'm doing on this one. It's all in the look that you want. Now I'm going to get more right here in the middle. The middle sometimes tends to get overlooked because we get more around the edges because we come in darker around the edge. All right, I think we've, like I said, the edges don't matter so much. Here we go. Now let's see what we've done. Take our masking Post-it tape off so we can lift up our mask. There we go. Is that not cool? Is that not just so pretty? If you needed a baby card, wouldn't that be nice? Any kind of a card, though. And what I will do, what I did before and what I will do again with this is get my color and contour dies. And probably this one. So you can see the edges do not matter. Get it nice and straight. Run it through real quick. Making sure it's straight here. Pull that out. And then I would use this on a card base. And I'm going to show you a sample of what I did with that. The colors are a little darker, but here's what I did with it. There's what I did. This bird is from the sketches, whatever that, I don't know what it's called. Something sketches. Let's see if it's up here. Maybe I put it over here. No. It's one of the new dies. I'm looking. Just a minute. I'm looking and I'm not seeing it. Sketches. I didn't pull that one out. So, yeah, I'm not seeing it. You know, when you want to see it, when you want to put your hands on it, no way. No way, Jose. No way are you going to be able to do that. So, this bird came out of not the Thoughtful Expressions, seasonal, maybe, oh, the Circle Sayings, maybe? No, seasonal branches. This one, the little one, came out of seasonal branches. This one is out of that sketches, and I can't put my hand on it. So, anyway, all right. So that's how one way that I would do this. And then I stamped the bird again on the inside. So, all right, we have one more sample. And on this one, I'm going to use this. So I think we will have used all of those masks. I'm going to get another piece. I don't know about you, but I love black and white. So I thought, you know what? I am going to do a black and white card. And I'm going to use this. So let me get my paper down. And I'm going to, this is just going to be a partial masking. So I'm going to put my holders down where they won't show. Because all I'm going to do is, because it doesn't really matter. where I start or where I lay my mask. Because I'm just going to do this edge right here, and all I'm going to do is this corner. So this is where I grabbed and used my small blending brush, and I used Memento black ink, and I just want to do the edge. So I came along here, and I don't want to come up very far. So I think all I'm going to do is right here, but I am going to get it a little darker. So that means I'm mashing down just a little bit more. Okay. So it's going to kind of fade up. All right, that's it. That's all I want to do. So let's take this off. Lift our mask. And there we are. Take these off. And I will show you what I did with this. You could use any color. You could use a different color of cardstock to do this part. And just do it in the corner or along the edge. So this is the card that I made from that. I said I wanted to do a black and white card. And so I used the celebration paper, the Sunny Days celebration paper, and I just cut out a couple of the clouds. And then I used the flower dies, floral paper florals, and I actually keep a stash of those. I just sit in front of the TV and I cut paper flowers, and I keep a stash of them so that when I do a card like this, I just go pull some flowers out. And then my black and white ribbon. Happy birthday, and the happy birthday is from Go To Greetings. I love these. It's got the large ones, the medium, and the very small ones. It has an additional hello. I love these. I use these. They are my go-to greetings. I love them. All right, that's it. So those are just some of the ways that you can use your blending technique. And let's see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all of these on here, but let's try. Yeah, almost. That, and that. There we go. Put that on top. There we go. Now, all right. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great weekend. Go get some blending brushes or some daubers and give this technique a try. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And I appreciate your support. Bye-bye.